Good evening and welcome to Transcontinental Times on Smart Entrepreneurship Decoded. Tonight I join you from Singapore. And if you ever want to see the effects of pandemic, even on a relatively developed country or a high income country, you've got to see Singapore. I have come here after 2.5 years. The first thing you notice is the absence of tourists, or at least in adequate numbers, and the whole vibrancy that you associate with cities like Mumbai, Singapore, Hong Kong, New York, Los Angeles, where people are bustling and going from here to there, and everybody seems busy. That spark is gone. Everything seems a bit subdued and a bit off the charts. Maybe that's a signal of the times. Maybe things will improve. But all the news we read about revenge travel, about flights being full, etc., is not actually translating back into pre-pandemic numbers. They are full because there are fewer flights. All the planes have not come back. People are not really coming back as yet. A lot of us, including myself, started businesses in the pandemic time. Many of you, like me, are midlife entrepreneurs who had successful corporate careers before we turned to entrepreneurship. On this show tonight, we have a very accomplished guest. His degrees are from some of the top institutes of the world, including IIM, Harvard, etc. But more importantly, he will bring a certain perspective to an area we have not yet delved into on this show, which is the infrastructure sector. He has a rich and vast experience in the cement sector in India of more than 3 decades, and recently has stepped out to be an entrepreneur with that very diverse, rich, and accomplished experience that he's got. Without further ado, please welcome Yogesh Barot from Ahmedabad, India. Welcome, Yogesh. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you, sir. First of all, I'm very much thankful to you for inviting me to this amazing platform, for sharing my views, my ideas on smart entrepreneurship decode. Thank you, sir. First of all.
So, Yogesh, I'm going to put you in the deep end right away. In the last 3-4 years, we have seen commodity prices go through the roof, cement prices go through the roof, cement stock prices go through the roof. And of course, they're cooling off now. But what's really happening? Where is that sector right now?
Yeah. See, as far as cement sector is very, very demanding sector in India, actually. And looking to the amazing promises and amazing work done by current Modi government, they are very, very sharp focus on infrastructure development, road, bridges, buildings, airports, and amazing work has been done by them. And this requires cement. Everywhere you require cement. It is extremely difficult to imagine a world without cement and concrete, right? So looking to the infrastructure development, housing for all, there also is an amazing scheme which is put by Modi government. So this results into huge demand of cement. And if you just know, Indian cement, India is second largest cement producing country after China. We produce around 500 million tons of cement annually, out of which around 400 million tons of cement is actually manufactured, right? So before some time, there was a, you can say, price rise, definitely due to the increase in input costs like diesel and transportation, logistics and all these things. Because cement also is a very, very heavy logistic intensive product actually. So when there is a increase in, say, fuel prices, definitely it will have an impact on the overall pricing of the cement, definitely. But if we just see, around last 1 month or so, slightly prices have corrected, because now you must have seen there is a price decrease in the fuel and all this by 2-10 rupees. So definitely cement players also give that benefit to the customers, and they have reduced their prices, right? But I strongly believe that looking to the amazing infrastructure work which is done by current government, cement is one of the finest sector where one can not only invest, but they can definitely prosper, and they can play a very, very huge role towards growth of our lovely country. That is sure.
So I get your point. India is fast growing. India has got all these amazing things happening, and the government is playing a big role in that. And infrastructure is one of the fastest growing areas. We have very progressive ministers like Nitin Gadkari, etc., pushing that agenda fantastically well. We haven't seen these times before, so that's really without question. But I'm going to ask you a bit of a politically difficult question, right? Now, while a lot of industries have moved to India and China, chemicals,
Mhm.
pharmaceutical, cement, etc., they also happen to be some of the most polluting ones.
Right.
Cement, especially, right? There has been a search for green cement and alternatives for kingdom come. We haven't found it as yet. But what is
Right.
the right balance with all these SDG goals, save the climate, which is real, right? We are experiencing it in India as well, with record heat waves and all that. What is it that is going to help? I mean, cement is great, but we are concretizing and creating heat islands. And cement itself, the manufacturing process, the mining process, creates a certain weight on the planet. Is there something that can be done responsibly there?
Definitely, it is a very, very important question. See, as I told, it is extremely difficult to imagine a world without concrete. See, if you want to have growth, if you want to have infrastructure, then concrete has to be there. And wherever there is concrete, cement has to be there, right? As you rightly told, that cement is a very, very highly intensive, energy consuming industry. And cement contributes to around 7 to 8% of total CO2 emitted globally. That is a very huge quantity of CO2. But cement industry also is a very, very responsible industry, and they have already, and especially in Indian cement industry have started tremendous measures to abate CO2, right? Because see, earlier, if you just think about 1960s, 70s cement industry, there was only one type of cement which was produced, that is ordinary Portland cement, where you have a huge quantity of clinker, 95, 98% of the clinker is there, right? But now there is latest stuff, latest technology Indian cement has already implemented. And if you see currently, there are various types of cement which are manufactured against earlier around say 90 to 95% of ordinary Portland cement. Nowadays, if you see the blend of a different type of cement, for example, blended cement or Portland pozzolana cement, there you can reduce your clinker by around 35%, right? There we are, as per IS 1489, cement industry can use fly ash. See, fly ash technically is a polluting material, right? So that material is being used in manufacturing of cement, where it can drastically reduce CO2. Because now when you're reducing clinker by around say 30 to 35%, then definitely, first of all, you are conserving the natural resources. Lime is a natural resource, right? So if you're reducing clinker, then you're also reducing the usage of the natural resources. We are conserving the resources, right? At the same time, when a material like fly ash is used, around 35% of fly ash when you're using, it will reduce this CO2 emission drastically, definitely. And like Portland pozzolana cement, if you go to eastern part of India where slag manufacturing is there, so there also we can use huge quantity of slag in cement. There also you can further reduce clinker. So we are conserving the limestone. At the same time, we are reducing carbon dioxide emission heavily. So India has a tremendous, you can say, contribution towards reducing CO2. Because see, as I told, India is second largest cement manufacturing industry in the world after China. So when you are taking such tremendous measures, so you are not only, you can say, increasing the strength and durability of the concrete, but at the same time you are contributing hugely. So technically, as far as contribution of CO2 reduction is there, India also is technically second largest in world, because we are second largest manufacturing. So technically, our cement industry is very, very quick in adapting the latest technology. So different types of cement are being manufactured nowadays, which will definitely play a very, very big role in reducing CO2. And definitely, if we act today, then we will be able to give a better earth, or better, you can say, mother to our generations which are going to come in future, definitely.
So, Yogesh, you've worked in the cement sector for what, 30 years, close to 30 years,
Yeah,
and
close to 30 years, yeah.
largely in a single company. And
Yeah,
you would
26 years. Yeah.
normally people would think of that as somebody who's going to do that, then have a nice retired life and move on. What made
Right.
you take the leap into entrepreneurship when you have children who would classically be wanting to get into entrepreneurship of that age, right? Why
Right,
now?
right.
How did you weigh that decision?
Yeah, it is very, very important question. See, actually, if I just briefly tell my history, I after graduation, in 1990 from Pune University in civil engineering. I worked for around 3 years in one architectural firm in Ahmedabad. Then I joined Ambuja Cement in June 93. After that, till November 2018, I worked in Ambuja for 26 years. I was heading customer service marketing group in North, actually. See, as you asked a very right question, entrepreneurship. See, though I have started my entrepreneurship journey last year only, January 21 only I started. But if you want to succeed in corporate life, you have to you have to have your entrepreneurship mindset. Because see, if you are working for an organization, you cannot only work for one stakeholder, say customers or influencers like that. Ultimately, you have to think how my company will be profitable, how my company will really earn. Because if they earn, they will definitely expand their business, and they can really help the society to grow further, definitely. So I always thought of entrepreneur mindset. And the fortunate thing which has happened to me, when I started my career in Ambuja Cement, I was the only person who went to Rajasthan. And entire area was total virgin. So I was the first person to land there. So I have to think about everything. Who are the customers? Who are there? What are their requirements? So which type of product we should use? What feedback we should give the organization? How company will be benefited? How my customers will be benefited? Definitely. So it is extremely important to have entrepreneurial mindset. And at that only, and technically, if you see a state like Gujarat, where people think more about entrepreneurship than doing a job. But though I worked for around 30 years out of my, say, around 32 years of career. But at that time, since I was thinking about entrepreneurship, I always, there was one thing always there was in mind that one day I will definitely start my own company, where definitely I can think about the product and services which will not only serve my customer, definitely it can help to grow our, you can say, society as well. Yeah.
You made a very important point that you need an entrepreneurship mindset in whatever you do, even if you're working in a large settled corporate in an industry like infrastructure, which is not exactly cutting edge from a modern point of view, right? People take these industries for granted, that it is there, cement is there, it'll always be there. So when you broke this news to your children and your wife, how did your family take it? Did they say daddy's gone nuts, or what is the reaction?
Very nice. Very nice question. Actually, this happened during COVID situation, right? Actually, after leaving Ambuja, I got an opportunity to work with Prism RMC. There also I got a wonderful support from ED and CEO, Mr. Atul Desai. He gave me an opportunity to work as a national head of customer service group and marketing. But at that time, actually, it was very difficult for me to, you can say, move from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, especially due to COVID situation. So at that time, one day I thought, now I have worked for around 30 years for the organization. Now I think it is high time for me to start working for my own. That is what I thought. And then I first talked to my wife, my children, then my father. At that time, they were slightly, my father especially was shocked. Yeah, what are you doing? You have worked for 30 years and now you are starting your entrepreneurship journey, especially in a very, very worst COVID situation. So how you're going to, you can say, manage that? I thought, father, see, one day I have to start my own. Because for 30 years I worked for organization. Now it is high time for me to start my own. I have to work for myself, right? So that is how I entered. And honestly speaking, they were not mentally ready to accept me as an entrepreneur, because many things change actually. But I strongly believe that if you are working for your own and if you are just thinking about, say, entrepreneur mindset, definitely things will be difficult initially, but things will definitely be on my definitely.
So talk to me about, and I've experienced this myself, so I speak with some empathy there. So you are a top level executive in a cement firm, among the largest in India, and you have got what would some people consider a fairly cushy corporate life, and then you start on your own. What is the biggest difference that you faced? Because it's different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. See, I always believe in one statement by John Sedo, that a ship is safe in harbor, right? But it is not designed or built for that. So definitely that ship has to go into the rough and you can say very stormy water, then only it can succeed. So definitely I think huge difference is there, where as you rightly told, corporate life is very comfortable. You get the salaries, everything in time, and everything is planned, and things will be there. But I think when you are starting as an entrepreneur, then before starting, I planned for that. It was not that suddenly I made the decision. It was in my mind for last 2 years actually, that someday I have to work as my own. So as we just discussed earlier, that I first of all, I trained myself, right? That I got my education from IMA alumni. I got some courses from Harvard Business School, BITS Pilani. I have done my masters and all. So there I learned a lot of business lessons. Because see, suddenly if you are changing your ship from say corporate to entrepreneur, then first of all you have to prepare yourself for, you can say, storm, right? Because entrepreneurship is nothing but you have to do everything, right? So first of all, I educated myself through IIM Harvard and BITS Pilani and all these things, where I got tremendous lessons, business case solutions and all these things. There I learned how to do entrepreneurship and what are the challenges you can. So I planned each and everything in advance, and then I prepared myself for that. And
Still,
fortunately, I'm getting very good
still,
response from the clients and doing
but
this.
still, you can prepare a lot for everything. But when you jump into it, what
Yeah.
was the difficult part? I mean, was it that you have to now go and sell yourself and sell your expertise? People don't respect you naturally. You need to go and get the business. Was that tough?
Yeah, definitely stop. Because see, first of all, the first entrepreneurship essential, what I feel is you get an idea. Exactly, if you want to be an entrepreneurship, what you will do first of all. And as my background is from cement and I was in customer experience strategies and all this thing, I thought that my expertise, which fortunately a tremendous brand like Ambuja and Prism RMC, they gave me the experience of customer experience, say customer services and all these things. So I got an idea of, you can say, work with the organizations or help the organizations to bring more and more customer, help them in customer centricity and all these things. So challenge is definitely there, but an idea what where you will work, how you will work, what are the preparations you have to do. And one more challenging thing is, see, in corporate life you have regular income and all this thing, but as an entrepreneur, then initially there may be some hiccups and all these things where you may have to plan your, not only your say corporate your entrepreneurship ideas, but your finance, everything has to be made streamlined, definitely. So I think getting an idea where you definitely work and how you arrange your finances and how you arrange your people who will work for you, who will take your ideas to the masses. That is
True,
what I think the
true.
most difficult part as an entrepreneur. Yeah,
I think well said. When you start out on your own, from you are everything from president to peon, right? First few years at least, and sometimes it's a knock on
exactly,
the ego.
exactly. Yeah,
It's a knock on the artificially created corporate ego, that suddenly you have to do all these things for which you had
yeah,
secretaries and others to do it for you.
absolutely. Yeah,
But let's
right.
let's talk about another area that you have done quite substantial work on. So today, a lot of talk is there about digitization and how everything is moving digital, etc., etc. Now, the penetration of digital means different things to different people. In some industries,
Hmm.
everything 100% is digital, but in other industries like agriculture or traditional manufacturing, etc., what does digital mean in an infrastructure company? How do you adopt, and what does it mean? What does it actually do?
Yeah, yeah. See, nowadays, see, digital transformation was technically is not a new subject, right? Earlier also people were connected digitally, especially after, you can say, advent and success of mobile phones. People were getting started connecting digitally, but especially after COVID. See, COVID has given tremendous issues, tremendous problems they have created. But at the same time, the gift that COVID has given is exactly the point which you wrote, Mr. Rose, is digital transformation. Because nowadays, since now people cannot go everywhere, right? During COVID situation also, though business was less, but people started getting connected digitally on phones, and especially after Zoom and Google Meet and your Skype and all these things are there, definitely. So that digital transformation has helped us tremendously, because see, in that tense COVID situation, you cannot go out. But this digital transformation or digital connectivity was a tool which really helped us to, you can say, get connected with the people. uh, During COVID, actually, I was working in one out there is Prism RMC, but at that time also our work was not stopped. We were getting digitally connected with customers and influencers and our marketing sales people, our CEO and all these things. So digital transformation is definitely there, and especially after this COVID, and especially after advent of digital transformation in infrastructure, also the same thing is happening. Because, for example, if somebody want to have the structural design, or if somebody wants to have architectural design, or if somebody want to have, you can say, consultation of design or cement or services and everything, yeah, you can directly get connected with anywhere. So definitely digital transformation is playing a very, very important role. And in future, if you'll see, now most of the companies, you must have seen during COVID situation, most of the companies have started moving to digital. working from home. Say it is hybrid, but most of the companies they could survive during COVID just because of digital transformation.
So
And I strongly believe that in future, digital transformation will be a very, very important.
So in a cement company, what would digital transformation look like? Is it just the meetings and all of that stuff, or can you digitize processes? What does it mean? What does it mean in a infrastructure company?
Yeah, huge. You already see if you just start from the cement manufacturing, right? We'll come to manufacturing and the marketing and sales. Everywhere digitalization is there because especially after COVID, this digital has really helped to have some automation in the manufacturing process. So if you just compare today's cement plant compared to other after before say 10 or 20 years, there is huge change nowadays. Many latest technology has come, and especially digital transformation has helped not to only produce cement as a best quality, but at the same time with the reduced cost. So initially your investment will be there for digital equipments and all this thing, but definitely it is helping a lot for producing very good quality, which is very, very important aspect in infrastructure development. At the same time, it is helping cement industry to reduce the cost of manufacturing in long run. Initially, there may be investment process, but definitely it is there. So right from manufacturing to even marketing and sales also, now we can get easily connected with customers and influencers. You can talk on Zoom and Google Meet and all this. Again, you can convey your schemes or convey your say, services, and people are easily getting say connected. So definitely cement industry also digital transformation is playing a very, very huge role, definitely.
So Yogesh, the one area that you are currently very engaged in, and something which entrepreneurs find very difficult as well once they see initial success, is that more than startup, it is difficult to scale up. How do you scale an organization? And I know the current work you're doing, you're trying to scale up a company similar to what you've worked in the past into 10x, 50x, 100x of what they are. How does one scale up, and what are the challenges?
Yeah, very, very important question, especially for an entrepreneur and when you are starting your organization. See, scaling of the organization is a very, very difficult task technically, and especially when you have recently started your organization. But at the same time, your first earlier point, digital transformation, that also is helping us a lot. Because see, earlier, for example, 10 years back, if you want to have a startup, and if you want to scale up, it was extremely difficult because personally, as an individual, you cannot go everywhere. How many people you will recruit who will go to the masses and they will talk? It was difficult. But especially this digital transformation and amazing platform like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and Twitter, and all these things, that has played a very, very significant role in you can say in communicating to your masses. For example, if you're connected to LinkedIn or these amazing platforms, definitely you are connected with a huge number of people where you can tell about your services, your products. So technically, if you are starting or as an entrepreneur, the first thing which I thought is a digital only. How can I get connected digitally with the global, you can say, company? So currently what I'm doing is using this platform very efficiently, and I'm spreading the awareness about my services and product. At the same time, I also have started recruiting my people actually who can really talk about our product and services. And again, there are also recruitment. Suppose if I want to talk, see, recently I have recruited people from 3 different countries. So earlier it was difficult, but digital transformation, getting connected with Zoom and Google Meet, I can take their interviews, I can tell them the product and services.
When you advise a client on scaling up, that okay, you are at X and I'm going to get you to 10x. Okay, let's give it a moment for Yogesh to get back. Okay, Yogesh, what I was asking was, when you're advising a client that okay, you are at X and I'm going to get you to 10x or 50x, is there a mindset shift that you expect the client to have as well, or is it all about just putting processes and people in place?
No, absolutely. Mindset plays a very, very important, because see, you may be having some amazing ideas, right? That if you do this, your business will get scaled up. But mindset of the person for whom you are working is extremely important, because technically, see, whatever your ideas you have, it should get transmitted to that person. And technically, he should be convinced that if I adopt these ideas and if I use the services of say XYZ, then definitely my business is going to scale up and I will be definitely making a good business. So technically, mindset is very, very important. If mindset is not there, then whatever your ideas, it may be amazing ideas, right? But if his mindset is a negative, he is not able to accept your ideas, I think any service of any kind, it may be great service, it will not, as you can say, progress further.
So, Yogesh, we've come to the end of our time. You've brought such interesting perspective to an area that is normally not what is termed as sexy area for entrepreneurs to enter. But your views and the thought process is absolutely amazing. Tell me something. As an entrepreneur, when you started this phase of life, what kind of view do you have of how are you going to leave it, or do you expect your children to carry it forward, or how do you actually scale and institutionalize inherently personalized business like consulting? How does that work? How do you think about it?
Yeah, see, last year when I started my this entrepreneurship thought, or opening my having my own organization, definitely I thought I mean, I thought it is a longer way. At least for next 10 years, definitely I'm thinking I will take my services, because see, when you're starting an organization, it is not only you work. Slowly, I'll be recruiting my team. My family also is with me. Actually, though my elder son is a doctor, so he'll be pursuing his doctor career. My younger son is a computer science engineer. Definitely, he will work for computer. But definitely, I think in future, they can also, if they feel that this business good, they can also join. And I have my team, and very good, you can say, experienced people I'm planning to have with me. So my plan is to take it further and take it to the masses, so that I can give better product and services to our society. Definitely.
Well said, Yogesh. That brings us to the end of our time. We've had an absolutely amazing session with Yogesh Barot, and we've looked at a sector that we normally don't look at. I'm very thankful to you, Yogesh. I wish you the very best. Have a good evening, and hope our paths cross again soon. All the best.
Yeah, thank you, Nalini. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to express my ideas on this amazing platform. Thank you very much.